Now, there's a great story about faith in the Bible. It's about the Canaanite woman. And it starts with the woman seeking and finding Jesus. You know, you first got to find the guy. You know, Jesus roaming around out in the countryside, in the wilderness, wherever. There's no phones or GPS. You got to find him. Nowadays, if the government wants to find you and watch you for whatever reason, they can come up with your exact location in about a half a second. And if they wanted to, I think they can get rid of you using a laser from a space satellite. You would think they'd have that now, right? You shoot that laser, bzz, it zaps you, and you disintegrate. There's not a trace of you anywhere. Nah, they can do that. Who they kidding? So this woman, this Canaanite woman, finally found Jesus, and crying out to the Lord, the book says, "Lord, Son of David, have pity on me." That's the first thing she says. Have pity on me. Man, would you start out asking somebody that you never met as a first impression? Have pity on me? Or at a job interview. Could you imagine? Excuse me, before we begin, could you please have pity on me? That would never happen. The interviewer would say, next, get out of here. He would come up with some emergency meeting that all of a sudden came up. Oh, we're going to have to reschedule this meeting. And of course, he never reschedules. Pity. That word is actually used a lot in the Bible. The definition is the feeling of sorrow and compassion caused by the suffering and misfortunes of others. Now, this Canaanite woman knew who she was talking to. It was Jesus. She didn't have to pretend to be some great person deserving of help. No, she got right to the chase. She went on to say, the book says, "My daughter is terribly troubled by a demon." Troubled. Now, I don't know whether that means possessed or just being tempted by this demon. I'm kind of thinking it means possessed. You know, as far as temptation is concerned, we're all tempted by Satan and his fallen angels every day of our lives. We personally deal with them all the time. Not to mention the spiritual warfare that goes on all around us that we don't even realize is going on. We don't realize it. Like a 17-year-old with very thin hair doesn't realize that by the time he's 26, he's bald. You can't stop it. He's going to be bald. The parents don't have the heart to tell him. Man, those receding hairlines, what a dead giveaway, huh? Totally. And again, what are you going to do about it? So the Canaanite woman came to Jesus to save her daughter's life. She understood there was no other way. I have to get to Jesus. Now, when she yelled out to Jesus, what did he do? Well, you'd think he would say, hey, no problem. I got you covered. But he did not. He remained quiet. He didn't say anything. Jesus decided to use this situation as a learning experience for her and his disciples. People say he rudely ignored her. No, that's not it at all. Just because you remain silent doesn't mean you didn't hear or listen. Jesus was fully attentive from the start. Now, because this woman was a Canaanite, the disciples had little to no regard for her at all. No respect, like Rodney Dangerfield. No respect. Or like the head of the head cheerleader who has no respect for the lead xylophone player in the band. No respect, as opposed to having respect for the star football player. Now, I'm not saying that's right, but that's the case most of the time. The book says his disciples came up and began to entreat him, Jesus, get rid of her. She keeps shouting after us. Now, how dare they even say that to Jesus? Jesus would never toss somebody aside and get rid of anybody. Jesus finally did tell this woman who is asking for help. He says, the book says, my mission is only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. As if to say, hey, you're not in the club. As if to imply, I'm not helping you. even though Jesus from the very beginning had every intention of healing her daughter. So why did he say that? That's the question. Well, number one, he wanted to test this Canaanite woman on how strong her perseverance and faith was. And number two, Jesus wanted to teach the disciples an important point, an important lesson here, that Jesus here is for everybody, not just for the Jewish people of the time, for everybody. Get it through your head, everybody. Just like the hot tub at the YMCA is for everybody. Although, when I went there in my 20s after working out, it seemed just for older people the hot tub did. A bunch of guys in their 50s and 60s relaxing in the hot tub. They saw me and they said, "Hey, how you doing? Come on in." But there was only one problem. They were all naked. Are you kidding me? They were naked. You know, there's nothing worse than a bunch of old naked guys, except friendly old naked guys. You got to be kidding me. I'm not going near that mess. Hey, I'm an older guy now. I wouldn't put a guy in their 20s through that. Bored guy. What's with that? Even in the locker room, all of a sudden, guys want to be friendly when they're naked. Really? Stop. Put a towel on. Put something on. Then I'll discuss politics and the stock market with you. Otherwise, I don't really want to discuss anything at that moment. A little uncomfortable. I wonder if women feel that way. Bored guy? Women? Do they feel that way? You don't want to broach this topic or subject? I'm just saying. Just honest feelings and emotions of situations that occur among us humanoids down here on the planet. Nothing wrong with talking about this. So anyway, as the bored guy's back there rolling his eyes at me, what did I do wrong? All right, so this Canaanite woman talking to Jesus, she didn't give up. The book says, she came forward then and did him homage with the plea, "Help me, Lord." She was asking not because of who she was, but because of who Jesus was. She realized that the Canaanites, they were considered trash and unworthy of any help, which was verified, actually, by what Jesus said next. You ready? The book says, he answered her, "It is not right to take the food of sons and daughters and throw it to the dogs." Whoa. He's basically calling her a dog, huh? And hey, by the way, does your dog dig out of the trash cans? What are they doing? I mean, my dog is so excited to get in there. It's like picking out a lottery or raffle ticket. What's going on? There's nothing in there but tissue and gook and more gook. But to him, it's so delightful. I guess one man's garbage is another dog's treasure. Is that how it goes? Yeah, I don't quite understand that one. But when this Canaanite woman was basically called a dog by Jesus, did she yell sexism, discrimination against women? No, she didn't. None of that 21st century garbage. Didn't even flinch. She didn't set up any kind of protest. She wasn't fazed in the least. She just continued on with her mission, which was to heal her daughter from this demon. The book says, "Please, Lord," she insisted, "even the dogs eat the leavings that fall from their masters' tables." This woman could care less about being politically correct in any way. She was fully aware of the public sentiment of the day against Canaanites, that everybody hated them and didn't want to help them. She didn't care because, again, she knew what type of man Jesus was. So helpful and kind. So she still had faith in Jesus and was 100% focused on getting her daughter healed from this demon. She called Jesus master. That's a beautiful thing, giving ultimate reverence and respect. Now, she would never give up on Jesus and knew Jesus would never give up on her and her daughter. You got to love the respect aspect of things. Even nowadays, when kids, my friends or my kids' friends, they would call us Mr. Pavlinsky. Hi, Mr. Pavlinsky. Hi, Mrs. Pavlinsky. And very respectful. That's a beautiful thing. What's it like nowadays? The kids, they call their parents sometimes by their first names. I seen that. That can't be right. Hey, Tom, can you help me with my homework? Hey, Joyce, when's dinner ready? Are you kidding me? What the heck is going on there? It's reversed. Evidently, the parents call their kids Mr. So-and-so and Mrs. and Miss Smith and so forth. And the kids just call their parents by their first name. It's a reversal, evidently. Lack of respect, man. A lack of respect, man. You got to be careful with that. That's a dangerous thing. Many negative things flow from a lack of respect. That's the root of a lot of evils and a lot of trouble that ensues. Not a good thing. Now, what Jesus said next to the Canaanite woman must have stunned the disciples. The Canaanite story, the Canaanite woman story, is a great example of faith, keeping their faith no matter what happens around you. All right? The book says, Jesus told this woman after she asked him to heal her daughter who was possessed by a devil. The book says, "Woman, you have great faith. Your wish will come to pass." That very moment, her daughter got better. Now, the disciples, they're probably saying to themselves, what's going on here? Hey, Jesus, man, you can't do that. That Canaanite woman is a no good sinner outside the realm of the chosen people. Well, this is the precise lesson that Jesus wanted to teach his disciples. It's like, hey, dude, I'm here for everybody. Every sinner can come my way, can come to me and change their life around. All you need is true faith in Jesus Christ. Don't let it waver. Don't have it 1 week and then not in the next, because you'll be tested. You look for hope and you keep your faith, even though you see nothing on the horizon. Too bad. Just keep it. It'll be worth your while.